This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afro Perspective Podcast. My name is Tinashe and we are on to episode 9. Today I am joined with my co-host Anton alongside Charlene and Rayon. So would you like to introduce yourself to the people then?
Rayon, Reno Sava on Facebook. Reno_Sava on Instagram.
Okay. So I know you've got... you're planning on dropping a podcast soon. Do you want to just drop a little info on that? Just a little preview.
Starting my own podcast soon. It's going to be called Sit Down Talk Up. Should be dropping within the next couple of weeks. I don't know when this video is going to drop, but should be around middle of December. I should have my first episode out. So, yeah.
Sit down and talk up.
Sit down.
No, that's even sick, innit, yo.
Sit down.
That's even there's some gritty stuff on there.
Sit down, talk
Some
up,
people are gonna get upset.
Yeah, man.
I said, sit down, talk up.
So what kind of topics are we kind of expect?
All sorts, really. Any topics, gonna be a lot of banter on there. A lot of cultural topics. A lot of there's gonna be masculinity on there. A lot of feminine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, all that stuff, man. When we talk about
I got deads.
a lot of touchy subjects. A lot of people might get hurt, but you know,
sit down.
Yeah, man.
Why do you think it's important to, sit down and talk up?
I just believe that we need a lot more transparency in the way people are talking, because people are too sensitive these days, man. And it's everyone's getting touchy, and it's just making everyone weak as people, man. I just feel like people need to strengthen up a little piece and sometimes take a joke with things, and and obviously certain jokes can have a lot of truth behind it, but that's for you to translate, and the way you intake it is up to you, innit? But that's not my business.
So it's basically driven by the importance of having dialogue, in the community. As bridging and bridging, man and woman. There's a lot of, especially between men and women, there's a lot of issues that.
There's a lot of grey areas.
Yeah, a lot of grey areas. A lot of them, man. Yeah, it's true.
I think it's a positive move, and
we're on it.
It's good for the city.
It's good for the city as well. I think I said it to you as well. Sheffield especially, we need that kind of representation on the media.
Platform,
yeah, definitely.
These kind of
DB city.
I mean, come on, we are the
fifth or sixth, something like that. Fifth.
We are the city in the UK.
Yeah.
And when you look into Brum, they have got
Podcast
going on. If you look into London,
London's swimming in the middle.
left, right, and centre. And so, as a big city, we definitely need
More content.
Yeah,
content
definitely.
and more different perspectives as well. So, like what you might bring to the table might, we might touch on the same
bits
subject,
on it, but you might expand
but from
on
a
it.
completely different.
You might beat up the mic. You might beat
from a completely different angle. So it's definitely a positive, and we're all for that. So people, make sure you look out for sit down and talk.
I like that. It's a good name when you know it for the first time. No, I like that still. Alright, we're gonna get some hot topics this week.
Okay,
Let's
go.
see.
So this week's hot topic is a statement that ZZ Mills has made on Instagram.
Let's kiss this teeth already.
Well on, let's give her a chance. So I'm gonna read out the statement and then we can just have a just an easy discussion about what we think. So she said, "If I have children, I will not be giving them their dad's last name if we're not married. Men got that privilege of the children carrying on his name historically because he was married to the woman and they all carried that name. I'll compromise at doing double-barreled." Does everyone understand what that means?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So, to put it to the group, how are you feeling about what she's saying?
Do you know what? Hearing it like that, double barrel, I can agree with. I can settle for the double barrel and all that, but not having the father's name completely because you're not married is a bit too far for me. Like I feel like why not? But why not though? No, do you know what I mean? So it's like, because now it's come to the point where if a woman wants to take a child on holiday and the child's got the father's surname,
this happens. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't go for so they need permission as well, don't they?
Yeah. Or you can stop them. I believe.
Yeah, you can stop them.
Yeah.
But
isn't that within our right anyway?
Yeah, but this is the thing. People take it as it's just an inconvenient law. It's a very, very sensible law.
yeah, it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Imagine how much.
Yeah.
How much girl running away with?
Contact God. Yeah.
You know, I'm moved to America. Forget you. You know what I mean?
It happens as well, you know.
And it happens. You know what I mean? So
It has happened. Yeah.
I think a man has got out of the few rights, the little rights that men have where that's concerned. It's not
Alright.
too much to ask for.
Let me just wade in a little bit. So I put this in the group chat. One of the group chats I put this in was a mixed group chat, so it was men and women. And men were very much like this,
Adamant.
and the women were very much like on the other side.
Was there any women on like this though?
There was some women, there was a couple women that were
Okay,
just like,
it's good to know that.
we don't necessarily like it, but we understand, so therefore we're going to
right.
side with this side.
Okay.
Now, the ideology was that if you look at promiscuous behaviour, fun women or whatever, if all of my children have my last name, that means I so happen to have disappeared or whatever, because the mums are not necessarily going to know or even going to have the conversation or the dialogue to understand who's is who's.
Yeah.
When you meet up with someone with your last name, what is the first thing you say? Oh, so where are you from?
Yeah,
Who are you? Did you ask a different? As soon as you meet someone, with the same last name, you're assuming, okay, where are you from? Who are you? So you get into those conversations. So you're more likely to find out before you end up in an incestuous situation.
So
that's one of the important.
Of identifying yourself.
Yeah.
Because
genetically.
Because the other way, it doesn't work for mothers, because usually, I'm not saying in all cases, apologies, but usually, if a mum has 5 baby dads, all those kids are still going to know each other because they're probably all in the same household. You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas with a guy, it's very rare. If you've got 3, 4, 5, even 2. Yeah, the kids are not gonna be in the same household more than likely. So the identification is even more important in those circumstances. So just because you're not married, I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. I understand it from an emotional standpoint.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But I don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
Because there have been cases in this very city where people have not known. And because they haven't got the father's surname, it's taken to one person to go to the other person's house and seeing the father's picture up in one of these.
And there's
that's my dad. Yeah. What's going on here?
That could never happen with me.
Yeah.
All of my siblings are the same.
We've also got to think about the implications that alright, so it increases the probability of incest. Incest.
Yeah.
And incest has got
so you don't even need to go in there.
implications on genetics. So when we look at how that can over a period of time have a detrimental effect on a particular gene pool, it's just not good. So alright then, so let me go back to Zizi's statement. Can you just hover over the part where she talks about the history? Men have historically
men got that privilege of the children carrying on his name historically because he was married to the women and they all carried that name.
That's nonsense.
What do you mean? What does she mean privilege? Why should a man?
Thank you.
And she highlighted that.
Yeah. Why does a man have to be privileged?
It's not alright.
Is it a privilege to give a woman your last name?
Yeah, but alright. Let me flip the script.
Yeah, go on.
Isn't it privilege for a man to give a woman his seed?
Yeah, it is.
It's one way or the other, isn't it?
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's right. Because his bloodline might be strong and whatever, and he's got a good seed and whatever. So what do you mean by
it's privilege to give the last name?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Why
the reason why I said it's bullshit is because historically, the reason why men retained, men passed on their names to their children was primarily because back in the days they didn't have no means of actually confirming paternity. They didn't have DNA technology.
Right.
So the only thing that
identified the child to the father was
the name.
Yeah, because more again, you know the parent, you know the guy's mom, you know already.
Yeah, because she's there.
Because you know it's there. They never lived alive. Like
there's no question.
There's no question. It came from her. It came out of her.
Yeah.
But whereas the father now,
he doesn't get
it's
that.
like, man get jacket.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It can be slicky. Did you hear about that woman in America that had the kid and the child never had her DNA?
What do you mean? It was a wrong kid? Or?
No. She had a child and the child never had her DNA. So when they had to go through loads of lawsuits and whatever to do with the child, you can research it.
I'm gonna Google it in a minute.
Yeah, you should Google it. She had a child and it never had her DNA.
Just the
Would they get
father's
100%?
I think it just had the father's DNA.
So it's just the father's kid.
I mean, yeah, you might have exceptions.
It's a norm, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
But
Yeah, so
generally,
These things happen.
it's like, as a man, so historically, men identified with their children through their name because there was no other biological way of proving that this is my
Right.
child.
Yeah.
Secondly,
true.
and this is, I thought that this was just African tradition, culture.
Okay.
Through research, I found out that this is actually the case in
England.
English culture. Up until recently, they've kind of revised things, but historically and culturally, and don't tell me that I'm being old school or whatever, right?
You probably are, but
When it comes to inheritance, when it comes to wealth, men protect their wealth through their name. When you think about it, yeah, if you pass on and you leave your wealth, you want to leave your wealth in your name.
Yeah.
yeah. For the people of your line to benefit.
So in the law, even in the English law, they had it that inheritance, when a man dies, who inherits his wealth?
Yeah.
It's the oldest son.
Son, yeah. And if the son hasn't got his surname, then he's not getting it.
They got to go through a whole heap of...
Yeah, so go through exactly.
So
You can't inherit without
having that surname.
and it makes sense because guess what? That wealth can be appropriated to a completely different family.
Yeah, I can hear women screaming sexism.
I'm just
I can hear them screaming sexism here, and I understand
like
it.
sexism.
But it actually does make sense though, because if you leave the finance in the woman's name, if the woman, for example, if you go down the matriarchal line instead of the patriarchal line,
right?
If a woman has children by multiple people, you're not necessarily the funding isn't going down one line. It's going down. So if me, you, and Tinashe all have a child with said woman, and her father or mother's passed the funding down to her,
Right.
then they're not going down one line. She's having to split that out. Now, when as a male, it's very easy to go.
Okay, let's go. So Zizi says, in order for you to, for my child to have your name,
There's so many issues with this thing.
you've got to marry me. So what about if we divorce?
What are you gonna do? Got to change the name by default.
Do you understand?
You're some girl wicked, you know. You're sat there.
We can divorce, and you can remarry.
Yeah, but Charles sending.
She sounds. I think she
That's
sounds
a good point.
Remember, the name's already been erased, so she can choose to say, "Well, the children have got my name, but this man now has got whatever entitlements those children have."
I didn't even think
With
about
her.
that. Yeah, with her, and and that wasn't the case. That wasn't the plan.
Come from
That
me.
wasn't. Yeah, that was not the plan. I'm now financing this next guy.
So to talk about men have the privilege of giving the child the last name, men have also got the burden. Have you ever heard of a girl that's been a girl saying, "Babe, father called CSA on"?
Nah,
It's rare.
CSA.
It don't happen.
literally
It's
taxes
rare.
the man there.
Yeah, man, them. Yeah, it's true.
Why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
men have a financial obligation to their children.
Yeah.
If the name is on the birth certificate.
The
Yeah.
argument
That's
is
mad.
gonna be
I
that's
didn't even
because
think
they
of it
look
like
after
that.
the kids, which is fair enough. But then that still
You have that
still runs
obligation.
into the same scenario of me
You-
financing the child.
You as a dad, right? You're working and you're doing whatever. I'd like to think that most men look at it this way. You're investing in your children.
Yeah, of course.
So imagine investing in a child.
I've always said family is an investment.
The family is an investment.
Yeah.
Literally, you're working your arse off just to be able to give your children a start in life and set them and make sure that they don't want for nothing.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that for a child that doesn't bear
I know, I understand.
I tell you what's mad as
But then
well.
some people would argue.
Have no shares.
You know what else? Which I tell you else is mad. Like when people saw, like, say someone's parents die, it always seems to be the dad that's passing something down. Like, does the mom ever have a will?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, but not.
I think
mostly the father, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think
what his father left.
historically it's going to be what the father's left because of financial situations. Obviously, back in the day, guys were the breadwinners. That's probably going to change in the next 20 or 30 years.
I just don't think that. All right.
Yeah. There's another issue here that we've not really discussed. If you're gonna hold a man to ransom to say if we're not married, then why are you breeding? Then why are you breeding
before marriage?
Why are you even having sex before marriage?
I wasn't go that far.
Yeah.
But
That's a good point.
No, if you're going down that route, saying that's something you control. Like
it's true. That's very
you
true.
fully control that scenario. If you want to have a child, you'll have one.
Okay, yeah.
It don't make sense.
Which brings us to the point that women are the gatekeepers of reproduction.
Yeah.
So that's where the privilege word comes out of that sentence, because if she's out there trying to have sexual intercourse with a man and then falls pregnant and then gets faced on because he won't marry her.
Here's the part that I've seen some people say, well, suppose you get pregnant by accident.
Oh, here we go. Can
you get a girl pregnant by accident?
You can't.
I mean, this is on the table.
No, you can't.
You have to do something.
You can't.
Something has to happen.
It's gambling, isn't it?
No, I was saying to Anton earlier on. when I had my kids, right? I didn't necessarily plan them, but I wasn't surprised
when it happened.
Because I knew exactly
what could happen.
What could happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not rocket science. We're talking about this is 2020. Yeah. The sex education, people act like they don't know. I'm sorry, but
what I'm saying,
simple biology.
Listen,
Charlie,
you can have certain pregnancies that happen, and because let's say you're on birth control.
Listen.
Let's say you're on birth control, right? And birth control failed for whatever reason. Would you call that an accident? Because you didn't plan it.
There's still options there.
I don't even want to go into that. I didn't want to follow up on that because
I didn't know that. I want to save it. What were you gonna say?
It could possibly be an accident because so you're driving a car. So you're driving a car and your brakes fail and you crash.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
this is an accident.
It's an accident, isn't it?
You can go out there thinking, I know my MOT is due.
I agree, because it is an accident because you did take the right precautions to stop it from happening. And if it happened, then
your argument is.
But if you didn't have like the pill or whatever, and you was having sex, then
you're risking it.
It's not an accident.
It's 99.9%.
Right. So if you was on the pill and you got pregnant, I can agree it's an accident.
Okay. So when the girl finds out that she's pregnant,
not going down that line.
Anyway, so
when she finds out she's pregnant,
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because she's
no.
It's irrelevant because she's in control of that situation regardless. You're saying if you have a child before you get married,
right?
Get married if that's how you feel.
Yeah.
You're in total control of that scenario, you know.
That's true.
Or don't have the child until you get married. Yeah. It's that simple. It doesn't make sense.
And then it eradicates this whole double-barreled name.
Oh, that's my other issue.
Wipes off everything.
And I have a question.
Okay.
And I raised it in the group chat and there was no good answer. No. So here, let's say my son gets a double Barrett surname, so a single one. So he's now Frederick Barrett. Mm-hmm. Right? Your daughter...
Wouldn't it be Barrett? Frederick?
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, the Frederick is at the end.
The last...
Anyway.
Right, okay, cool.
It's double Barrett.
Suffix.
I don't care. Right, now, Frederick, right?
Black,
and then,
British black.
Okay.
Go.
Right? And then he meets somebody and the last name is, I don't know, Slater Madrid or whatever, yeah? So when they have children, what name does the child take? When you start double barreling surname,
I don't know how it works.
Last names.
Of which?
So somebody gets wiped out anyway, so what's the point of putting them in it to begin with?
That's a good point.
You're not going to give them four last names.
What you're talking about, the person with the double barrel and have a children?
With somebody who else has got a double barrel name.
You might decide that your child doesn't have the double barrel name and has your father's name.
Exactly. Okay, so if you're gonna do that
means somebody's name is
gonna get eradicated.
So which is the mom? It's gonna always be the mom's name eradicated.
Okay, then. So then, what's the point in double barreling the name of the circles in the first place?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, as soon as you get to 2 double barreled names, it's ridiculous.
What have we come?
Yeah, but what if the woman gets married?
Listen what me I said.
Don't that take away the double barrel?
I don't know how
Not
it
if she
works.
wants to if she wants to carry on the same line that her parents carried on.
Yes.
So
it's
think
a
about it. So
long
her parents are double barrel.
Even though she gets married?
Yeah, because they got married. Say they got married.
Okay.
Yeah. So they both got that and they decided to double barrel their surname.
Right.
So she now has a double barrel surname. She meets another person with a double barrel surname. They get married. What do they do with that?
Quadruple.
Bare complications.
It sounds stupid.
It wasn't matter about sound, it's just the name, innit? You're carrying in the book.
4 surnames, and then eventually you
That's
get up with
mad.
16 and 32. It don't make sense.
Yeah, that's
I
mad.
just think.
Anyway.
I just think to myself.
Just hold it in it. Just hold the name and call it in it.
Let's give the man them. Give
Yeah, right.
the man them
Give
name.
him a little thing. You know what I mean? Like yo, we're not asking for much.
Use yours, innit?
Yo, trust me. And you know it's yours as well.
Exactly. They know it's yours. Just let the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Trust me.
I just think.
why was I trying to be difficult all the time, man? Sure.
Topic over.
Always emotional.
Part 1.
The logical answer is give the father the father the name.
I can't see anywhere around.
So therefore, nobody agrees with ZZ Mills today.
No, not
Do
today.
you know what? I love Zizi.
I do. I like her.
So she's just
Zizi.
done one thing. And
I think she's bored.
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.